Alright, get on those campaign caps. It's time to go adventuring in one of the year's biggest RPGs, even if you haven't heard of it yet. Larian Studios' Divinity Original Sin 2. Considering its roots, you might not be aware of the isometric turn-based RPG. Original Sin 2's been in early access for exactly 1 year, but now it's out officially, and so far PC players and early previews are head over heels for the hardcore turn-based RPG. PC Games N calls it the best strategy game since XCOM, Kotaku calls it brilliant, and thousands of player reviews on Steam seem to agree. If you're just now hearing about the game, we thought we'd give you a breakdown of what it is, why players are so excited about its release. That way you can know everything you need to know before you go out and buy it. Divinity Original Sin 2 is fully released now on PC, so if you decide you like it, you don't have to wait. Hashtag not an ad. Some of you will no doubt know that Original Sin 2 is a sequel to 2014's massive Kickstarter success, Divinity Original Sin. The sequel got its own round of campaign funding as well and has lived in early access since last September, giving players a glimpse of what would be in store for them for most of the game's first act, but now they can finish Act 1 and dive headlong into the rest of the game's campaign. For the most part, it's a similar game to the first, but with a couple of key differences. Namely, that it now supports 4-player co-op, which is awesome, plus there's now a much more mature story that is fully voice acted, even down to the most minute NPC. The story of this game will be familiar to those who know about the Divinity RPGs, which go back a long way, starting with Divine Divinity back in 2002. That's not the first game in the series' official timeline, however. Divinity Original Sin was a prequel to Divine Divinity, with Original Sin 2 taking place after Divine Divinity. And fortunately, you don't need to have any prior knowledge to understand what you're getting into. If you didn't play those games, you can hop right in. In the setup for this game's plot, which happens generations beyond Original Sin, Bishop Alexander the Innocent has declared sorcerers illegal. So now, 4 of them are banding together to outrun the authorities and take the fight back to Alexander, the greatest sorcerer ever known. At the end, someone will have a chance to become a god, but hey, more on that in a second. Okay, to tackle that story, you have quite a few options. You can either create your own character or choose from 6 pre-tailored origin stories. If you don't want to play as one, however, you can just recruit those characters as party members in your own story. And if you choose to make your own character, you can also use tags in your character creation process, which are backgrounds that'll help open certain quest lines or change the way NPCs respond to you. Fortunately, you don't have to experience this story alone. Divinity Original Sin 2 allows for seamless drop-in, drop-out 4-player co-op for the entire campaign, but there's a bit of a twist because Larian considers this to be a competitive co-op RPG. As for what that means, well, you might see 2 players in the same party going head-to-head if they so choose. You can also backstab your party members in the middle of a fight if you want, poison their bags with bad potions, stow stolen weapons in the hopes that a city guard might put them under arrest. But more importantly than that, party members can end up on opposing sides of a quest conflict, playing the story out from different angles. Up to 4 players can do all this together online, or you can play 2-player local split screen, and toward the end of the game, only one of you will have the chance to become a god and get ultimate power, hence the competitive. So you just have to figure out how to resolve that once and for all on your own. But hey, you can probably fill in the blanks there. Before you throw down for ultimate power though, you'll experience a lot of combat together, which is turn-based and relies on using your environment and your wits to overcome opponents and beat the odds. Use rain to douse fire, then bless the steam into a healing cloud, for instance, or teleport an oil barrel onto a campfire and detonate it and blow up everyone around it. Tackle those battles with a number of available classes, and there are a lot of them. There's Battle Mage, Cleric, Conjurer, Enchanter, Fighter, Inquisitor, Knight, Metamorph, Ranger, Rogue, Shadowblade, Wayfarer, Witch, and Wizard. And from there, you have tons of skills to choose from as well. But let's be honest, we'll all end up as Thief Archers somehow. Like Conjuring is one of the different skills you can choose. It summons creatures from the void or elemental totems to fight for you. Polymorphs can morph themselves or others to mimic things from animals, like grow wings so you can fly over enemies. Plus, well, way too many to go over in a ton of detail here. There's like Huntsman, Warfare, Necromancy, Scoundrel skills to boot. Through all these things, plus the numerous quest lines and choices offered by the game, you can befriend animals, teleport people into fire, sneak, steal, communicate with ghosts, rip the faces off of dead bodies, craft equipment, Pizza! Of course there's pizza! Persuade enemies to fight for you. The name of the game is to do whatever you want, whenever you want. The world is basically your sandbox. When you get tired of the solo campaign, there are other ways to enjoy Original Sin 2 as well. There's a PvP mode, for instance, although if you're a dick and a bad party member, you can kickstart PvP at any point just by attacking one of your friends. However, there is a Sanctioned Pvp Area as well, where you won't face the penalties of death like you would in the proper game. That mode is kind of Hunger Games-ish. There's a chest in the middle of an area with boosting items and bodies strewn about that you can loot for source points to use skills against your opponents. Each of those bodies is guarded by skeletons. Try not to die, repeat. And if you want even more emergent narrative, of course there's more emergent narrative, there's also the D&D like Game Master mode, where you can create your campaign for your friends, use existing assets and maps or new ones to build an adventure that allows you to do almost anything with a couple clicks. Okay, let's be honest, probably more than a couple, but you can click your way to a campaign anyway and then see how your friends try and break it. And that is a quick overview of what you're looking at with what this game is all about for Original Sin 2, which is out now on PC. It has keyboard and controller support. It will eventually be out on PS4 and Xbox One as well, but there's no release date just yet. You can play it alone, play with friends, then make them mad so you'll ultimately be playing alone anyway. Hey, it's up to you. Are you planning on getting Divinity Original Sin 2? Let us know in the comments, share some of your favorite moments. If you want to hear more about it, we will be talking about it on next week's episode of Glitch Please. And for more news about the fall's biggest releases, make sure you subscribe to The Know. To see more videos from our Know Before You Go series, check out the playlist in the end card.